Are the cruel things you said to yourself today really your own voice? Or are they sentences you heard from someone else years ago and slowly began to mistake for your own? This is the second video in our series on the factors that shape self-worth. Yesterday, in the first video, we talked about how self-worth cannot be explained only by asking, do I value myself? Today, I'm talking about the first and most fundamental factor that shapes our sense of self-worth: childhood experiences. Before we fully get into the topic, I prepared a free worksheet guide to help you apply what I talk about here to your own life. You can find it in the description below this video, so make sure to download it before the video ends. When a child comes into the world, they do not form an idea about themselves all on their own. Am I valuable? Am I worthy of love? Do my needs matter? Can I be accepted as I am? At first, the child receives the answers to these questions from the people around them. When a child is seen as an individual, when their needs are noticed, and when their emotions are taken seriously, a very basic message begins to form inside them. I matter. I am worth being seen. I can be accepted as I am. This is one of the most important experiences that supports the foundation of healthy self-worth, being accepted as you are. But not every child receives this message in the same way. Some children are noticed only when they succeed. They are loved when they behave well. When they express their needs, they are silenced with phrases like, "You're exaggerating." When they cry instead of being comforted, they are shamed. When they make a mistake, instead of being guided, they are blamed. They may be physically present in the home, but emotionally unseen. And at this point, the child may begin to draw certain conclusions about themselves. So I have to be successful in order to be valuable. I have to avoid causing problems in order to be accepted. If I show my emotions, I will be too much. If I make a mistake, I won't be accepted. My needs don't matter. Or sometimes the opposite belief may form: if I want to be seen, I have to create problems. So if there is someone around you and you keep asking, why is this person so difficult? They may have built their sense of worth on unhealthy foundations. This does not excuse disrespectful behavior. It does not make harmful behavior acceptable, but it may help you understand that the issue is not always about you. Sometimes it is about the person's own inner history. There is an African proverb I love: a child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. In other words, if the sense of worth was learned in an unhealthy way, it may show itself through unhealthy behaviors. And if you are thinking, but I also had difficult experiences, why don't I act like that? There is something very important that comes into play here: awareness. Now let's come back to the main topic. These are not sentences a child consciously forms in their mind. A child may learn them through behaviors, looks, reactions, and repeated experiences, because children understand, they feel, they observe. Even a child who is dismissed with, "They're just a child, they don't understand," can still process and record many of the things they experience. So a child does not understand their worth only through the words spoken to them. They also understand their worth through the way they are treated. If you were constantly criticized as a child, as an adult, you may find it hard to hear criticism as simple feedback, because criticism may make you feel, I'm not enough again, I'm wrong again, I'm not going to be accepted again. Sometimes, even before anyone criticizes you, you may become tense and think something bad is definitely going to be said. Because in childhood, you may not have experienced constructive feedback. You may have experienced harsh criticism instead. That is why, in adulthood, even the smallest piece of feedback can make you feel under threat. If you experience this as an adult, one of the first things you may need to learn is the difference between constructive feedback and cruel criticism. If you would like me to talk about this in another video, you can press the like button. If, as a child, you mostly receive love through achievement, as an adult you may find it hard to rest. Because deep down, there may be a feeling of, if I am not producing something, I am not valuable. If your emotions were minimized when you were a child, as an adult, you may feel ashamed of your own feelings. Instead of saying, I felt hurt, you may say, I'm too sensitive. Instead of saying, I need something, you may say, I don't want to bother anyone. Instead of saying, I want to say no to this, you may think, they won't love me. You may not know that you have the right to say no. You may think your normal reactions are abnormal. There are also very delicate distinctions within this topic. I will talk about them in other videos too. You can subscribe so you don't miss them. This is how childhood experiences can shape self-worth. Things that looked normal when we were small may become the foundation of some of our behaviors today. The messages we received in childhood can shape the way we treat ourselves in adulthood. But there is a very important point here. This is not about blaming the family, because many parents act according to their own conditions, their own possibilities, and what they themselves were taught to believe was right. We are not looking for someone to blame here. You are here to understand yourself. What I want you to notice is this. How do I treat myself today, and where did I learn this? Why am I so harsh with myself? Why do I feel completely inadequate after one small mistake? Why, when someone criticizes me, do I question not only my behavior, but my entire self? Why do I think I have to be good, agreeable, successful, or self-sacrificing in order to be loved? Because if being valued became conditional in childhood, in adulthood, you may keep trying to prove your worth. You may believe that in order to be valued, you have to adapt yourself to the other person's conditions. You may start becoming the kind of person the other person wants you to be. Even when what is expected from you is unrealistic, you may feel as if you have to do it. But no matter how hard you try, one question may still remain inside. Am I really enough? This is why understanding childhood experiences matters. Because when a person sees their self-worth struggles only as a lack of confidence today, they may blame themselves. But when they see where it may have started, they can begin to look at themselves with more compassion. Instead of asking, "Why am I like this?" they can ask, "Where did I learn this?" That question is very valuable because it helps you notice the roots of the false beliefs you may need to question. The fact that self-worth may have been shaped in childhood does not mean it cannot change today. The brain is open to change. When you repeatedly take steps that support the change you want, your brain can begin to build new pathways. Over time, you can learn to internalize the thought, "I am valuable," more deeply. And if you have watched this video until this point, you are already moving in the right direction. The purpose of this channel is to invite you into a more balanced version of yourself. We simply need to notice which old messages may still be influencing the value we give ourselves today. Because some of the sentences you say to yourself may not truly be your own voice. Maybe you are still carrying a condition for worth that you learned years ago. But now, with your adult self, you can begin to question those sentences again, because you are not valuable only when you succeed. You are not lovable only when you are agreeable. You are not worthy of acceptance only when you appear strong. Your sense of worth does not have to be limited to how other people see you. Today, you can begin to look at yourself from a different place. In this video, we talked about how self-worth can be shaped by childhood experiences. In tomorrow's video, I will talk about how relational feedback from friends, teachers, partners, and work environments can affect our sense of self-worth. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss this series and tomorrow's episode. And make sure to download and use the free worksheet guide in the description. See you tomorrow.